KPBS On Demand is supported by Markel Design and Remodeling, helping homeowners with their home remodeling needs. From ADUs to kitchen remodels, room additions, and custom homes, Markel Design and Remodeling can help homeowners design and build their dream homes. More at trustyourhometous.com.
Welcome back to the KPBS Cinema Junkie podcast. I'm Beth Accomando. This morning I reviewed the new documentary Drunk, Stoned, Brilliant, Dead about National Lampoon. And it's an entertaining film about a group of brilliant comic minds that came together in the 1970s and mounted a scathing satiric assault on American culture and mores.
Michael O'Donoghue's Vietnamese Baby book was an extraordinary piece of satire.
It was a baby book, but it was designed to be for a Vietnamese baby, and so it had things in it like baby's first wound.
It was incredibly dark, extremely political, and it was funny.
Much of today's comedy seems to cower under the weight of political correctness and looks tame compared to the best and most daring of National Lampoon during its heyday. The documentary plays at the Ken Cinema this week. But today's podcast review, because it's October and the month of my beloved Halloween, will be of a new horror film that barely made it to San Diego. It's a film called Goodnight Mommy from Austria. The film opens with a choir of happy children singing around a maternal figure. The premise presented is simple. Two young boys arrive at a new home with their mom. Things seem normal enough as they entertain themselves with simple games as their mom recovers from facial surgery. It's not immediately clear what happened, but it seems she's recovering from an accident, and her face is completely bandaged up. But as they play the Post-it game, where you place a Post-it on your forehead with the name of a person or thing that you have to determine through a series of questions.
Okay, bin ich ein Tier?
The boys become suspicious that maybe their mom isn't their mom. They put her name on the Post-it, and she can't guess it, even when they provide her with clues about what she likes and who her kids are.
Woher soll ich wissen, wer aller zwei Kinder hat? Kenn ich die Person?
The boys decide to launch an investigation to find out what happened to their mom.
Ich lasse ganz viele Bussis da. Ich freue mich schon, wenn ich wieder zurück bin.
The film plays out in bright sunlight, in a lovely rich home, and against some beautiful scenery. Yet the soundscape of the movie suggests something more ominous. Yet there are also odd, inexplicable moments like a nighttime visitation to the woods by the mother and a cave filled with what seems to be human bones. Plus, as we observe more details in the house, there are foreboding things like a large frame portrait of a woman who's completely out of focus and missing pictures from the family album. Through careful detail and slow, assured ratcheting up of tension, Goodnight Mommy builds a creepy thriller about a terrifying fear. What if the people you love are not who they seem to be? This fueled the invasion of the body snatchers and invaders from Mars. It's the notion and the fear of what if you believe someone is not who they appear to be, and what if nobody believes your suspicions? Filmmakers Severin Fiala and Veronica Franz deliver a classy horror film. The payoff at the end is not quite as satisfying as I was hoping for, but it holds up for the most part and does make for a chilling moment or two. This would also pair up well with Read My Lips or Sleep Tight, another pair of foreign thrillers that rely on the intimacy between the characters as a major part of the horror and discomfort of the story. Goodnight Mommy opens Friday at Reading's new luxury cinema, the Angelica Center, on Carmel Mountain Road. You can also find Reading's Hitchcocktober at the Angelica Center on October 15th with Dial M for Murder. And let me make a few other viewing suggestions for the week. Today through Sunday, Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn star in Charade at the Cinema Under the Stars. I just want to remind people how cozy and intimate this outdoor venue is, no matter what the weather's like outside. They have a cover if it rains, heaters if it's cold, and zero-gravity lounge chairs for the most comfortable and relaxed seating. Although don't come too sleepy, or you might just doze off. The screen's sharp and bright, and the sound is great, so if you've never been to this venue, make a point of going there. One of my other favorite alternative venues is the Digital Gym Cinema on El Cajon Boulevard. Opening this Friday is France's The Partisan, featuring the brilliant Vincent Cassel. Casal plays a charismatic leader named Gregory who teaches children how to raise livestock, grow vegetables, work in the community, and how to kill. I was unable to preview this film, but it's a Sundance Award winner, and I'll see anything with Vincent Casal in it. On October 11th, Alien plays at the ArcLight La Jolla as part of its Fright Nights film series. Most of the films in this series are not playing in San Diego, but rather only in L.A. Another event I want to highlight is the Film Out monthly screening. For October, it's a special Halloween edition with Bette Davis in Dead Ringer and Joan Crawford in Strait Jacket. Let's hear how master showman William Castle promotes Strait Jacket in this trailer.
This is William Castle, master of suspense, whose formula for fear requires
a story so full of unexpected thrills and shocks and suspense that the audience has no chance to catch its breath.
Strait Jacket mounts to a crescendo of electrifying suspense. Joan Crawford in a shattering screen portrayal. A frantic woman pressured by straitjacket tension.
Leave me alone! You let go of me! Listen to me!
Ingeniously designed to shock and startle, Straitjacket may go beyond the limits of your ability to endure suspense.
Mother!
The author of the famed novel Psycho, the director of the widely acclaimed chiller Homicidal, the co-star of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, join forces to create a frightening classic of shock and suspense.
Kudos to Film Out, and especially to programmer Michael McQuiggan for coming up with a great double feature for Halloween. It's the Grand Dam Guignol edition of the Film Out monthly screening, and it's this coming Wednesday, October 14th at the landmark Hillcrest Cinemas. Make sure you check this one out. And on a negative note, there's one film that I want you to steer clear of, and that's Eli Roth's Green Inferno. The film opened a couple of weeks ago, but still playing around town. This is his tribute, ripoff, homage, whatever you want to call it, to Cannibal Holocaust. Roth came out of the gate strong with films like Cabin Fever and Hostel, but then became something of a parody of himself. Yet he has a devout following of fans, and horror sites seem afraid to criticize his films. So disliking his movies feels like saying the emperor has no clothes. But guess what? He's naked. The Green Inferno's worst sin is that it's boring, and the gore seems tame compared to the now 35-year-old Cannibal Holocaust. I don't want to end on a low note, so let me remind you to check for this week's horror-themed Friday podcast. On it, I'll introduce you to Mr. Horror Musical, Jesse Merlin. He's played Dr. Hill in Reanimator the Musical, starred as the Father Merrin alter ego in the rock opera version of The Exorcist, and played Hannibal Lecter in Silence the Musical.
Hannibal is a cross between Katharine Hepburn and HAL 9000. If I could help her solve this case, perhaps they'd let me leave this place for one that has a bit more space. I want to see a tree. Lonely, lonely lunatic. I'm charming, but I'm also sick. I need an audience for my shtick. Perhaps it could be she. If I could smell her cunt, if she would grant my simple little wish, I could illuminate this dungeon with but one small whiff of tuna fish. I'd give her what she wants, if I could smell her cunt.
Merlin will then take us on a tour of the amazing, disturbing, and macabre Surgeons Hall Museum in Edinburgh. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Until our next Film Fix, I'm Beth Accomando, your resident Cinema Junkie. Please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and give us a rating. The podcast has only been running for a few months, and we need your help to get the word out. Thanks again.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Marrokal Design and Remodeling, helping homeowners with their home remodeling needs. From ADUs to kitchen remodels, room additions, and custom homes, Marrokal Design and Remodeling can help homeowners design and build their dream homes. More at trustyourhometous.com.